Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Friday to everyone as we get ready for Texas and Kentucky. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. Last day of school for the kids before they get out and everybody's there. I know you guys are preparing for Thanksgiving, family, all that. But before we get to all of that stuff next week, make sure you hit like button, hit the subscribe because Unc is here on a Friday and we got to talk about Quinn Ewers. We're going to have that conversation about Quinn and what the future holds for a guy like Quinn Ewers. So get ready, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. I won't be here long. I have an appointment at 10 o'clock. So I better be honest with you. It won't be the longest show, but it's going to be the show that you guys hopefully need, enjoy, and all that. Let me hit a retweet on this. And let's go from here. Give me 1 second. Here we go. And boom. Boom. Got it. All right. So it was interesting this week. And good morning to all of you. Good morning to you, Chris Bennett. Good morning to you, Barb, Stephanie, my Cedar Park neighbor. Of course, Catherine is in here as well. So it was interesting to me this week. I was, was thinking about, Senior Day, right? Because Sark has been talking a lot about Senior Day and what that entails. And then he also was having the conversations about the super seniors. And, we know like the David Bennett's of the world. Last year was the Christian Jones. Those people got the 6th year because of the COVID year, right? And so I remember previously reporting, and by the way, Jamari, welcome back, brother. It's been a long time since I've seen you, man. It's good to see you. Money B here in the house as well. I ain't here for a good time, but a long time. Yes, all that. So I remember last week, I started thinking about like underclassmen who had the opportunity to go pro. And one of the things that someone threw to me, when you start thinking about the underclassmen and Kelvin Banks, so on and so forth, and somebody had said something to me about Michael Taft actually has an opportunity to go pro after this year. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of fascinating. I'm like, yeah, but that kind of makes sense. Like, I like Mike, Mike's kind of been balling out. So that sounds like a really fantastic thing. And then I started thinking again about Quinn. And I started thinking, wait a second, is this Quinn's last game? This game against Kentucky, is this Quinn's last game at DKR? So I went ahead and decided this week I was going to kick the tires on this. Decided to kick the tires on it. And here, you want to hear it? Here it go. So I went in and checked in with some of my sources. And I asked them, one person specifically. I said, hey, is Saturday going to be Quinn's last game in DKR? And the response I immediately got back was, well, it all depends on if we host a playoff game on December 20th or 21st. Right. Yeah. And I was like, okay, right? I get it, right? Yes, technically there is that. So then, of course, I got to dig a little bit deeper. I got to go a little bit further. And I go, all right, okay, let's just assume Texas gets a bye. They're in the quarterfinals. They're in the Sugar Bowl. So what if that happens? And then I got back the real, which is he 100% won't be back to Texas. And I said, okay. And then it also said 90% chance that he goes to the league. 90%. So we do math, right? That's 9 out of 10. Well, shoot, I gotta ask about that 10%. So what about that 10%? What if the decision is made by his people that he's not going to go, and maybe he wants to do another year in college, maybe increase his draft stock because he's going to have to go through the evaluation process, right? And he'll get his draft card back, he'll get his report card back, and everybody tell him where you are or where you are not, right? And I was like, well, what about if that's on the table? And the thing that was told to me was, and what's up, Kiki? The thing that was told to me, even if that occurs, and even if the worst case scenario occurs, which is they feel like he needs another year in college, it won't be at Texas. No matter what. So no matter what, we are seeing and you will be witnessing the end of Quinn Ewers being here at UT. Now, look. People are going to ask Sark about this, and Sark's going to say he doesn't know. People are going to ask Quinn about this. He's going to say, I haven't made the decision. This is how it works. This is how, it works when you have that. You have to say the things in front of the cameras. But the great part is you can say a lot of things off the record that you don't have to be held accountable for. And that's where reporting comes in. And so if there... So I don't want some, because I know these sneaky MFers out here that'll be the first ones that try to ask a question like after the game on Saturday or next Monday, and then they want to act like, because they can't do their own freaking reporting, so then their only way to report is trying to rip down somebody else's report. That's how these do, right? That's how they do. That's how they do. But trust them. The plan, when it's all said and done, is I've been refraining from cussing lately, and I haven't even been to church. I need to go. But the plan is, no matter what, for him to go. Now there have been. So let's go deeper. Let's go deeper on this one. Barbs, that'd be horrible. He could never go to OU. That would be horrible if he did that. Okay, so the thing is, there's an understanding. There's an understanding between Quinn and Sark and everybody. And that understanding is next year's, this is Arch's team. The plan last year, 2023, the plan was for Quinn to go pro after the 2023 season. That was the plan. Injuries happened, and that kind of derailed it a little bit. And then when it was time to get the draft stock thing in, it didn't really look the way that everybody hoped it would look. At the time, behind the scenes, there wasn't quite sure where Arch was, if he was ready at that moment. There was still some developing that they felt like needed to be done, which is, by the way, not the worst thing in the world. Like, I think people clutch their pearls when you say Arch Manning needed to develop or needs to develop. It's like, yeah, good quarterbacks do need to develop. That happens, because if you don't have that and you don't allow a good quarterback to develop, you can see what happens. I don't know. Okay, let's say Oklahoma. Now, Texas could have did what Oklahoma did with Dylan Gabriel last year, right? Which is, you know what? We've got our 5-star. He sat the bench for a year. It's time to throw him in. Let it go. But Sark took a different approach. This is why you got to appreciate him and understand how much of a G he really is. Sark took a different approach. He said, you know what? Arch could use another year to develop. There's no need to throw him out there right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the best of both worlds. I'm going to mix having my veteran quarterback who's decided he's going to come back, and I'm going to continue developing the future of the program. And I'm going to figure out how to blend it, which is why you saw them share a lot of first-team reps throughout the offseason, which is why you saw Arch Manning play the overwhelming majority of the spring game earlier this year. And then you saw them kind of continue. And then early in the season, you saw there was an effort to make sure that Arch was playing in the game. It was all a real smart plan calculated by Steve Sarkeesian. But understand that there had to be difficult conversations that had to be had as relates to the Manning side, because it was like, hey, listen, I know that you kind of felt like 2024 was going to be your year, but we're going to let him come back and guide it for one more, and we're going to have you sit. But when we get to 2025, come hell or high water, it's you. Okay? Just need you to be patient. Continue to grow, continue to develop. You'll be okay. Now, here's the thing about the Manning family. I've been reporting on this for years. The one thing, I'll be Captain Obvious and then I'll bring it back home for a second. So let me be Captain Obvious and then I'll bring it back home. The one thing about the Manning family is this: they fully understand how quarterbacks need to be developed, and they fully understand what happens if you put someone out too early. Go through it. And so they have always been apart. It'd been a family that said, we'll take our time. Which is why when everyone would always say, "Oh, is he going to hit in the transfer portal? It's going to go in the transfer portal." Like, no. They understand development. They understand development better than any quarterback family that's out there. Let's be clear. But more than any, the first family of football understands, you know what? There's a process and this is okay. I remember talking to people in their camp when the kid was in high school, and I was told he's got 5 years to get into the league. We're okay. So, but the conversations that needed to be had were had. So now we fast forward into this year. He gets a chance to play. You know, he's got his feet wet. But now, as we start getting to the end, and everyone's playing the Boys to the Road, end of the road music, we have to know that there will not be a part 3 of this one. This is it. This is the final countdown. So the goal is to win, and it felt like Quinn gave him the best opportunity to win. But now that it's done, or almost done, this will be it. And Sark was kind of asked about, I was actually going to ask Sark about this yesterday, but someone stole my thunder. Tennis De La Pena, he stole my thunder because I was going to ask Sark this question, but he got it, and he got a hell of an answer. Sometimes sometimes I give these media people a hard time. I'm a media person myself, which is why I do it. But he asked a good question because it was a question I wanted to ask, and he got a really fantastic answer. So let's get into real quick what Sark said about Quinn yesterday, because hey, I think it's really relevant as far as when we're having this conversation today. So let me take you guys off the chat for a second. No, Sark looked really good yesterday. Just enjoy. That's just where I paused it. He looks nice and healthy as we go from here.
Dennis, go ahead.
Coach, not a lot of head coaches and play callers have a third-year starting quarterback that they were able to mold those entire 3 years. How unique and rare do you think your relationship is with Quinn, and how does that help you on game day, both of you?
Well, for me, it's not so unique to me as maybe it is around the country. Like the guys that have really come into our programs, whether it's been here or the other stops that we've had, we've kind of had that continuity with the players, whether they were backups early on in their career, then became starters, or were starters and remain starters. And so I enjoy that process because I think you learn and grow with that person as we evolve as an offense, as his game continues to develop, and you start to try to play to their strengths and what they do well. You start to feel their presence and their leadership. And I think that's with Quinn exactly what it's been, from where he was year one to where he is today, to the rapport he has with his teammates, to the mental and physical toughness he exudes. For us, I think is one that's admired in the locker room. And so I think there wasn't a more fitting play for him than the 4th and 2 last week against Arkansas, where we called a zone read with him. And, he decides to try to run the safety over to get the first down to seal the victory. And I just think that's who Quinn is. And a lot of times that doesn't come out in kind of his personality off the field, but internally we know the competitive nature that he has. And so for that to play out that way, I thought it was a really cool moment. And it was a cool moment to see him show some excitement. And obviously all of us on the sidelines were excited as well. So I've been proud of Quinn. I really feel like he's as healthy as he's been now today that he was earlier in the season. And that's always the challenge of playing quarterback and playing football in general. November, you're generally not healthy. And he obviously endured a pretty tough injury early on. but is making some really big plays for us at critical moments.
There you go. By the way, I killed it before the Kirk Bowles question. That was next. Because he didn't ask a bad one, but I know the mere mention of Kirk Bowles would be it. So there is that, right? So just understand that, for the next couple of weeks, celebrate them, appreciate them, because, look, he would be the perfect. I got, by the way, there's someone in the chat asked a question. I've got a good answer for that one too, not as relates to Quinn, but about Cam Williams. I got an answer for that coming up. Knowing that from when you start digging into the Texas Longhorn history of quarterbacks and you finally got to Quinn, Sam Ehlinger was kind of able to stabilize that room, right? And then after years of just, going through all the David Ash, the Tyrone Swoops, the Gerard Hurds, right? Shane Buechele, right? All that, right? This Shane Buechele, Tyrone Swoops battle that produced a 5-7 season in the loss to Kansas, right? And then you had you had Sam Ehlinger that kind of stabilizes that room. And then you kind of go into this murky waters of the Casey Thompson and the Hudson Cards, and it's like, don't like that. And then you get to Quinn, and so this is for me. While it's so easy to nitpick him sometimes, and I feel like people nitpick a lot of different things, and I'm not saying there may not be some valid reasons to say these things, but then at the end of the day, like kind of appreciate when it's all said and done, like. Yeah, man, this guy, whatever you want to think he is, he got Texas to the conference championship game last year, and they're 2 wins away from being at a conference championship game this year. At the end of the day, I can think of worse places to be because we've been there. We've been to 5-7. How many times? 5-7. How many times? 3 times within the past 7 seasons. Just 5-7 just a few years ago. So anyway, appreciate Quinn over the last couple of games here at Texas, and make sure you root for him because his time is coming to a close. Someone asked, who was it? Yeah, Benji asked a question. But not a question, he made a statement. Let's tie this in. This News Dump Friday. And I don't have many more minutes that I have here, but News Dump Friday, I've been hearing very strongly that Cam is probably going to go pro as well. So now tie this in, but Cam's been getting a lot of first round buzz on his side as a possibility, and he seems to be really receptive to it. I feel like it would take a lot for him to come back at this point. Over the last couple of weeks, the buzz for him keeps hearing that he's a guy that's really heavily leaning towards entering the NFL draft. Again, these guys are going to go, they'll get their feedback from the scouts and for the the underclassmen stuff. They'll get their feedback. I can't remember. I forget. I covered the NFL for years, and I'm not quite sure why. NFL Draft Advisory Committee. I was like, why am I not remembering the name of this committee? They'll get it from the Draft Advisory Committee, but Cam is trending towards leaving. Hence, tie this back in. Fasusi. One of the things as relates to Fasusi conversation, see how this thing all ties back in? One of the things as relates to the Fasusi conversation was this. Hey, I want to play right away as a freshman. What's my path towards playing right away? Well, guess what? The path is starting to get a little clearer because now you've got a Trevor Gooseby who could be a swing tackle who could play on any side. More than likely, he's your left tackle. But you can bring in a Fasusi and give him an opportunity and probably compete against like a Brandon Baker or something for the right side. But now all of a sudden, if you can tell Fasusi, hey, guess what? Kelvin Banks is leaving. Cam Williams is leaving. Hey, we're empty on the tackle position, dude. Come on over. And come on over to a winner. How about that? How about come over to a winner? You see that dumpster fire there? Watch what happens when Alabama kicks their ass this weekend. You really want to do that? Come on, man. Now, look, I don't know. I keep hearing stuff about something with the family. They need to win over the family, so on and so forth. Well, look, family members that want to be won over can be won over. And if they've been as consistent from a recruiting standpoint as we know they have, look, we've seen Texas flip guys in the end. We know what they can do. So as relates to the Cam Williams conversation, Cam is a guy that's looking towards leaving. Cam's a guy that's looking towards leaving, and his looking towards leaving is what's opening the door for the Fasusi conversation as well. Hold on. Just stay there with us, because hey, it's a lot. That one is going to get interesting. Now, I will have a show on Tuesday, and I will have Jason Sukumel here to talk more about it. We do have some things in the war room as relates to Fasusi as well. If you don't have, and maybe Ketch will talk about it. But man, if you have an Orange Blood subscription, it's a really good thing. Just make sure there's probably going to be some deals and stuff like that going forward. So make sure you check that out. Hey, also check out my main man, Eric Torres, El Presidente himself. If you're looking to buy a home or sell a home in the DFW area, don't have to look any further than my main man, El Presidente. Buying and selling homes made easy. So listen, around that time, holiday time, things are starting to wind down, but it doesn't mean that you have to wind down. Even if you're saying to yourself, you know what, holidays are coming around, I'm gonna probably do this around the first of the year, whatever it is, and thinking like, man, when I get that income tax, man, I'm finally gonna get myself a crib, whatever it is. Tell yourself, like, you're out in that area, hit my main man up, Eric Torres. Check out his Google reviews. Check out his Yelp reviews. He's certified. He's bona fide. You make sure you tell him your favorite unk sent you, and he'll take care of you, man. He'll make sure you don't get taken advantage of in either way. And then remember, when I win my bet this weekend against the Opinion Sports Show, the Oklahoma fan that he is, who has disappeared, it has not stayed on his porch, which is okay, because the way you're getting your ass whooped, I don't blame you. But I'm about to win a $50 gift card from Specs because of a bet that we placed earlier this year as far as wins and losses. Oh, it's going to be nice. Lisa, tell him.
Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs. Cheers to savings.
Cheers to you. I got to show y'all that bet, though. I wish I don't have time, but I got to show it to you. If I do have time, I'll go ahead and find it. Let me do this real quick. Games that are upcoming this weekend. Understand. You got Ole Miss at Florida. That's an 11 o'clock game. Looking for stuff to do in the morning. You got Ole Miss versus Florida. You definitely don't care about UMass versus Georgia unless you just are betting and gambling and you just say to yourself, like, I need some action on something. You have that's upcoming. You got UTEP versus Tennessee. Again, you probably don't care about that. You got Kentucky at Texas at 2:30. And hey, listen, if you're looking for a place to go to the Texas Card House Social, and you can check out the games that are there on the big screen there, be around some Longhorn fans and appreciate it. So we got the Kentucky at Texas at 2:30. We got Wofford at South Carolina at 3 o'clock. You got La Tech versus Arkansas. A lot of games that you don't care about. Just be honest with you. I haven't really found a game outside of Texas and Kentucky that's really worth watching. You got Missouri at Mississippi State, Alabama at Oklahoma. That should just be for fun and recreation. The interesting one, people have this as an upset alert one. So Texas A&M at Auburn, that's an upset alert. So you make sure you might want to check that one out in the evening. Maybe go back and forth between the Alabama-Oklahoma game. Yeah, that Alabama-Oklahoma is you just like watching Oklahoma lose. Or Texas A&M and Auburn, if you want to hope that Texas A&M loses. I would recommend Texas A&M at Auburn just so you can, if you haven't watched Texas A&M this week or this year rather, gives you kind of like a little bit of a scouting report on them. Two last things before I roll. I want to talk a little bit about Kentucky, a little bit about Texas as they stack up, as they match up. There he is, the main man, Quinn Ewers himself. And sometimes I'm telling you, you gotta appreciate people when you have them, man, because sometimes things change. So you gotta appreciate it. So nonetheless, there you go. When we look at a comparison, total offense, Kentucky's offense is ranked 107th in the country, which means it's pretty damn bad. And then you've got Texas' offense that's ranked 18th. So you start thinking about ways Texas can win. I don't know, score 14 points. And that's probably all you need against Kentucky. That's how not good they are on offense. Another key, rushing offense, they're okay. Passing offense, though, look at how bad their passing offense is. 114th in the country versus 12th. So when you start thinking about ways that Texas can win this game, through the air is absolutely a way that Texas can win this game and should win this game, because if it's a shootout and it's mano a mano and it's my quarterback versus your quarterback, number 3 is better than Brock. I can tell you that much. And I thought Brock might be okay because he was a former 5-star that was at Kentucky. I think he transferred from Georgia. To hell with the rankings. People did the rankings, got that one wrong. They've got a lot of these quarterback rankings wrong lately, is what I have to say. Incoming message from rivals to Onward. Please, when you talk about the company, please don't say anything disparaging about the people who do recruiting rankings or rivals of themselves. It is important in that. Anyway, scoring offense, Kentucky can't score no points. 109th in the country versus Texas, that's 13th in the country. Total defense, yeah, whatever you want to say about Kentucky on their defense, they're 29th in the country, which is fine. It's a good defense, but Texas is number 1 in the country. And surprisingly, from a rushing defense standpoint, and this is where I think it's really important for Texas to run the ball, Kentucky's rushing defense is actually 54th in the country. They're much better from a pass defense perspective than they are from a rush defense perspective, if you're just being quite honest with you. We got the scoring defense, their turnover margin, third down conversion percentage. As you can see, it's Kentucky ain't doing nothing on third down. And they definitely ain't doing nothing on fourth down. They're ranked 96th in the country in third down conversion percentage, 110th in the country in fourth down conversion percentage. And then from a defensive standpoint, they don't stop nobody on third down. The opponents are converting. They're ranked 71st in the country as far as that is concerned. And fourth down, hell, don't give Sark the green light on that. Oh Lord, they're 132nd. Hold up. I don't know if you get much lower than that. Hold on. Let me go to my national stats real quick. Hold on 1 second. Opponent fourth down conversions. Damn. Damn, Gina. That is literally second to last in the country. Now, to be fair, they've only had 5 attempts on them on fourth down in 4 conversions. So to be fair, okay, it looks bad, but the other teams are basically 4 out of 5. Okay, so it looks worse than it is. Okay, all right, I'll take it back just because of the low percentage. They still ain't stopped nobody on fourth down, and Stark is going to be happy to see that. He's going to be like, what? I go for it fourth down? Triple reverse option. Red zone offense. Sark will call all kind of plays so far. Sark is going to be like 4th and 20 on his own 3-yard line. We're going for it. There's the punting. Texas. Now that's the only part that Texas is bad at. Texas is bad at the punting perspective. They're ranked 112th in the country, 36.7 yards per punt, just not very good. And then you can look at the first downs. And then the last thing I'll just kind of skip to a little bit will be the time of possession that's there. Kentucky likes to hold on to the ball. Kentucky likes to slow down the game, hold on the ball, muddy it up, all those kinds of things. And that's the Kentucky strategy. And if Texas can overcome that, they'll be fine. Hey, don't forget Texas versus Kentucky post-game show. We will start 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We ride at dawn. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We start that post-game show. I'll be down there for what I hope is the last game at DKR, because it would be much better for Texas to go to the quarterfinals than it would be for us to be talking about them having a first-round game on December 21st. But nonetheless, Texas versus UK post-game show, that is going to happen. That is going to occur. Let's go through here. I see a super chat. See. Let me get my man Ruben up here. Ruben, appreciate you, Ruben. That's my dude right there. He goes, if Quinn wins the SEC title, that's 2 titles and 2 CFPs. If his NFL grades isn't great, does he try to come back? And if so, how does UT tell a legacy no? Oh, damn it, Ruben, you joined the show late. Ruben. Oh, man. Well, Ruben, I spent about 15 minutes talking about this, but I will be capping for you. This is it. It's the end of the road. It's Arch's show next year, no matter what. There's probably a 90% chance that he goes pro. If there's a 10% chance that he wants to stay in college, it will be somewhere else. They understand all sides involved. That in next year, 2025, it's Arch Manning's show, and it's time to move on. As I kind of recapped before, the Sarkeesian wanted to make sure that he got Arch another year of development, which is what he did and which is what he received. He does have another year of development, but now it's time. And look, again, I used the Jackson Arnold thing. Sometimes you throw someone out a little bit too early, they may not be ready, even if they are a 5-star. You will just tell them, hey, we appreciate you, but nothing personal. It's just business. You can't allow Arch Manning to go in a transfer portal under any circumstances. And if you tell him that Quinn's coming back, well, you're just opening transfer portal door and asking him to leave. And those are the kind of things that fans don't really like. And could get you, I don't say get you fired, but sure can give you into a lot of hot water. So that's not going to happen. Mark Anthony, who I saw in concert just a couple of weeks ago here in Austin at the Moody Center. Any reports? I'm assuming, is Sark on board that Arch is SEC ready physically and ready to run the offenses? The belief is that he will be ready to go next year. So, and look, if they thought he was ready to go this year, he would be the starter or starter by now. Right now, you have to understand, and then you got to appreciate about Sark. The guy knows how to develop quarterbacks, y'all. Like, the guy knows what he's doing. He's one of these guys, and how I'm saying it, Mark, is not directed at you, and I'm not like talking down to you. I'm just kind of talking in general, so please don't take anything personal. It's just my tone. The thing is that this is what going to counseling does to you, by the way. You learn how to kind of articulate things so you bring people down. It really helps. You got to trust that this guy knows how to develop quarterbacks. And you got to trust that if that guy says a guy is ready, then they're ready. And if he says, you know what, he needs another year to bake in the oven and then he'll be ready, he'll be ready. So you got to trust Sark. You got to trust his resume and trust that when the season's over and they hand the keys over to Arch, of course, we're going to hear things about Arch and maybe being in a quarterback battle. It's not going to be a real quarterback battle. It's going to be it's the Arch Manning show going forward. So I appreciate you, Mark Anthony, as well. And no, am I wearing Shelto Adidas right now? I haven't decided what I'm going to wear out. By the way, Brad, I haven't decided what I'm going to wear out today. I do have some Adidas here. But I'll be honest with you, I'm a grown-ass man. I wear what I want to wear. I'll wear an Adidas top with Nike sneakers and not think twice about it. Like, that's just, now more than likely I might match the Adidas stuff, but honestly, my pinky toe hurts so much that I'm really more focused on comfort than anything else. I did put some CBD salve on it right now, so I'm feeling real good. Confidence level that Texas wins the next 2 games. Feel pretty good about it. If I had to quantify it, you always want to give yourself a little bit of an out. The Texas A&M game is a game. I feel very, very confident that Texas should beat Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky's got the dogs to hang with Texas. As it relates to Texas A&M, it's a road game, a night game. It's hostile. There's a lot of crazy things that can happen. So I think Texas should be able to beat them, but I probably am at a 80% to beat Kentucky, 85%, somewhere in there. I'll probably lower that down for Texas A&M just because it's a rivalry game. It's going to be a lot of Texas, a lot of emotions on both sides, and momentum swings. That might be 60-40 Texas at that point. So, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a huge spread, but I'm confident that, so I'm more confident than not that Texas is going to win the next 2 games. But to answer your question, you got to give yourself a little margin of error. What is it? Wait. Nah, man, screw them kids, man. You know how much I got to spend on them? Unc need a little something for himself. So I say them kids are going to be all right. And we going to be all right. Listen, y'all go out and enjoy the day. It's Friday. Family's coming into town next week, right? Oh, you got to go out of town next week. So make sure you do something fun for yourself, special for yourself. You absolutely deserve it. I cannot wait to be back here tomorrow, right after the show. Hopefully we got nothing special to talk about. We're just talking about getting ready for Texas A&M. So I'm hoping that you guys have a good one. Remember, I always say live each day like it was your last, because one day it will be in my Adidas. I'll see y'all later.